Greetings, African people. I bet you didn't know that genuine is bleaching. I bet you didn't know that you can only be considered beautiful in many black communities when your skin is light. Look at my pretty face and my good, clean up, pretty skin. Take a look at me. From Jamaica to the various parts of Africa, in North America to China, black people, not just black people, but I'm talking about black people, are rubbing their skins with all kinds of dangerous chemicals to achieve the light glow, to look white, to look pretty. And you ask the question, why? Why would Jenniren rub? What does Jenniren and all her friends trying to achieve? And this is not a gender thing, because men nowadays seem to be doing it more than the women. The first impulse is to say, these individuals are all psychologically affected. The impulse would be saying, these individuals who are bleaching from dance hall to the regular blowjo across the street, who is bleaching their skin, is because of their low self-esteem. Very easy. But what I'm trying to say today, the bleaching, the money that has been spent in the black or in the African communities around the world trying to change their face is much deeper than just that person who shows what we are all experiencing as African people. They might be getting rid of the outer layer of their skin, but I'm trying to say that black people, for the most part, their minds and body and soul is bleached. Do you understand me? This is just a physical manifestation of what's going on in our communities. And while we understand their external forces, while we understand how the media, how slavery, how all these different things come together to create this kind of psychic damage in our minds as African people, a lot of us are bleaching. A lot of us have been already bleached. Our mindset, for example. So I want to say to you today that if you fall in any of the categories that I will name, and you don't bleach your face or bleach your skin, your external bleaching does not show, it doesn't mean that you are not also affected, that you're not also a bleacher. Now, if you're a black person and you have never seen a black girl or a black boy and have ever said to a person who is dark skinned, you're beautiful, you're a bleacher. If you refer to somebody as being ugly because they don't have straight nose, they don't have light skin, they don't have thin lips, and they don't have long flowing hair, you're a bleacher. Because you don't lighten your skin doesn't mean that your mindset does not match the person who does. So many of us as black people, when we, for example, leave Jamaica, we don't want to associate with people from the ghetto. You are a bleacher. Oh, I can't live here anymore because those persons who live here are beneath me. You are a bleacher. Do you get it? Many of us might not bleach our skin, and we frown upon it. But you're still referring to your brother and sister and making fun of individuals because of how they look and say that they're ugly. Where does this come from? That psychic torture that I talk about all the time. You are a dark-skinned person and you hate the other person because they're light-skinned. If the girl has long hair because she's mixed, she's biracial, or you know, she's a black person who has long hair, you hate her. You're a bleacher. You don't have to just bleach your skin to show that you are affected by that disease that says anything that is not of a European feature or nature or any culture that doesn't mimic that of the European culture. If you are the kind of person who perceive this to be better, and look down upon somebody else. And so many of us do it. Many of us black person who understand persecution, we know all too well what that is like, and we are very prejudiced, not just against other people's, but most definitely against our own. So why are these people bleaching? Because they live in Jamaica and they see how people who are light skinned are treated. They already see that most light skinned persons are privileged, live in the upper, echelons of society. And if they are not living up there, they're treated as if they are belonging there. And the dark skinned people get that subliminal messages at home, in their church, in their various community. Now let me share this story with you. Very good friend of mine, beautiful dark skinned woman. When she was in Jamaica, she was treated so terribly by individuals within our own society, calling her black, calling her ugly. Even within our own church, individuals telling her she's lucky to have the wonderful man that she has, even though she's a wonderful woman too. Why? Because she's dark skinned. That's the only reason. The dark skin. Or if you have a disability, is something that, people look down upon you as and say you're black and ugly. Black people are doing that to this very day. Stop talking about the people bleaching their skin and look at why they're bleaching their skin. That is what we have to do. Because many of us black people, we are not bleaching our skin. We're not showing that manifestation of self-hate, and we're not showing the problem that black people have been exposed to. That bleaching of the skin, it is a disease. It's disease-like. When you listen to these individuals talk about what they do to achieve this light skin, and you'll still see people who claim that they're against bleaching telling them, oh, you look pretty. I heard a Rasta man that I admire who's always chanting fire too, and I heard him talking about girls who are downtown bleaching their skin, and that girls look good, they look pretty. They look pretty. The word prettiness is associated to lightness, to white skin, beauty. Even to the person who consider themselves to be, what would I say, enlightened, still consider white skin. Many of us as black people consider white skin as beautiful. So you see someone being referred to as beautiful, and in my eyes, I don't know why. Now people say beauty is skin deep, and sometimes I've seen some very beautiful person and their beauty doesn't come from what they look like outside, it comes from what they look like inside. This bleaching epidemic that we're seeing across the world, its roots go very deep and it's spreading very wide in our community. It's going to end up killing some of us because on a whole, black people are quite self-destructive these days. But this is only a manifestation of what's going on in here. And it's not just based on what that one individual is feeling, is what they're seeing over a period of time. Understanding and regurgitating and replicating the idea of beauty by damaging ourselves psychologically and spiritually. The bleaching thing is not just caused from what was handed down to our black people through slavery, but is what we have now internalized and accepted. Even the most conscious African person contributes to this, because when their face do not manifest it, their hearts and mind live it, preach it, teach it. Clean up your heart and your mind, and all this stuff will go away. Be blessed, African people. Think on these things.